Aaron Boone is expected to speak tomorrow, and we wanted to talk to our Yankee reporter, Greg Joyce. And Greg, how's it going, man?
Good, Ryan. How you doing?
Good, man. Appreciate you joining us. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of questions for Aaron Boone tomorrow when he does speak. And one of the biggest questions I think we got to start off with is how are some of these position battles going to turn out? And that one, especially at shortstop, is probably one a lot of Yankee fans would love to hear some answers about. Is there any kind of insight you can give us about how that position battle is going to turn out?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the biggest position battle to watch all spring. I think it's been a while since I had quite an open competition at a high impact position like shortstop. Obviously, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the incumbent, was acquired at the night before spring training. Spring training started last year, kind of as a stopgap to fill that time before Oswald Peraza and Anthony Volpe were ready. Obviously, he provided serviceable, but then kind of lost his starting job by the playoffs because of some defensive liabilities. And we saw Peraza come up in September and play a pretty strong shortstop. And obviously, you have Anthony Volpe as well, who is one of the top 10 prospects in baseball according to most services. He ended up last year, playing I think 25 games in AAA at the end of the year. So the three of them are going to be battling it out. Obviously, their every moves, all their reps, all their games this spring are going to be watched carefully. I think Peraza may be the slight favorite going into camp just because he did have that late season cameo. Is probably a step ahead of Volpe just on the development path. I think Volpe probably has the highest ceiling of all those three guys. The Yankees are excited about all of his tools, but obviously his makeup as well. I think anybody you talk to kind of raves about that aspect of his game. So it should be pretty good. And then you have Kiner-Falefa as well that I don't think it can be totally discounted if those two young guys prove they're not ready yet. He might, there's always a chance that he could still get the job if it comes to that too. So obviously, that's going to be the biggest position battle to watch all spring.
And that position is going to be very interesting for a lot of fans to see how it develops at shortstop. We're all going to be paying attention to every at bat this spring for those three players, and we can't wait to see what's going to happen on opening day. And then another position battle that we're all looking forward to seeing is left field. The Yankees Brian Cashman had said something about Aaron Hicks, and it's possibly his job to lose. And the way that the roster currently stands, how would you see that position battle playing out?
Yeah, you kind of were waiting all offseason for them to fill that need in left field and never did. So I think Aaron Hicks, he's still got 3 years, $30.5 million left on his contract. I think it's probably his job to lose there in left field just because he has that experience. He's another year removed from the wrist surgery. It's possible that could help him. I think they're hoping for a bounce back season from him. You also have Oswaldo Cabrera, who hadn't played much outfield before last season at all, and then all of a sudden got thrown there in the major leagues and played pretty well. He might be more valuable as a guy who can move around the field. He played almost every position last year, I think, except for pitcher, catcher, and center field. So I think in an ideal world, they'd have him kind of moving around the field on a daily basis if they can have a guy like Hicks kind of take that everyday left field job. Both are switch hitters, so that kind of helps there too. They also have a few non-roster invites, Willie Calhoun and Rafael Ortega, who have come from different organizations. Obviously, they're hoping, both guys, I guess, have some potential to try to win that job. But I think Hicks, it seems like it takes the job to lose just kind of based on, what he's done there in the past, obviously last year notwithstanding.
Another big thing that a lot of fans are discussing is there's a glut of infielders on this roster. When you think about DJ LeMahieu coming back from his toe injury, Gleyber Torres obviously settled with arbitration. You still have Josh Donaldson under contract for this year. And then you have Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, possibly Oswald Peraza, and possibly Anthony Volpe. And then you have Anthony Rizzo at first. Can I ask you, Greg, how do you see that playing out with all those infielders? Not all of them can make the roster on opening day, right?
Right. I think the first question they need to find out is how healthy is DJ LeMahieu. Obviously, he, missed most of September last year in all the playoffs because of that broken bone. Opted against surgery, just treated it with rest and treatment. All indications are that he's healthy. We've seen him from afar the last 2 days, and it doesn't look overly hobbled. But obviously, we'll be able to see him up close and starting next week, and the Yankees know better too. But it'll be interesting to see if they treat him with any restrictions coming to spring training. Is he a full go? Obviously, if he proves healthy, that's big because he can play second base, third base, first base, allows them, some more versatility there. I think if he's healthy, that kind of opens the door to possibly trading Gleyber Torres if if they can find the right return, maybe that helps them get somebody else to enter that left field competition. I think Donaldson, they've just like Hicks, they've kind of expressed confidence in Donaldson that he can put together a bounce back year. I mean, he played great defensively last year. Obviously, the offense was a different story, but I don't necessarily see him going anywhere, especially to start the season. So I think they have some options there. You never know what injuries might pop up during spring training, but and maybe maybe some of those injuries also solve the problem that they have in terms of the glut. But I think the first thing they have to find out is how much can they count on LeMahieu, how many games do they see him playing, and then kind of go from there.
To piggyback off that, do the Yankees have a leadoff hitter? Let's say DJ LeMahieu is not healthy. Do they have a leadoff hitter if it's not DJ LeMahieu at the beginning of the year?
Well, I mean, they tried Aaron Judge there for a stretch last season, especially late when he was going for the home run chase. I think in an ideal world, he's not hitting leadoff, but he certainly seemed to thrive in the role. They have Harrison Bader as an option. He kind of came alive during the playoffs, gave them some pop, played, obviously he's known for his defense, but if he can bring something offensively too, that's all a bonus. I think they tried Josh Johnson there to start last year. He hit some leadoff. They have a number of different guys I think that Aaron Boone is comfortable with, but yeah, I think LeMahieu they really like there. Obviously just his on-base ability is kind of a game changer when he's right.
We can't ignore the big addition this offseason. Besides re-signing Aaron Judge and Anthony Rizzo, the Yankees went out and got Carlos Rodon. What do we expect to see from Rodon in spring training, like behind Garrett Cole? This is going to be a pretty formidable 1-2 punch with Cole and Rodon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those guys kind of feed off each other. And every pitcher the Yankees get, they seem to kind of come in and pitching coach Matt Blake kind of maybe tweaks their arsenal or puts, kind of the Yankees' own spin on how, what pitches they use and how often they throw it. So it'll be interesting to see if they tap into anything there to kind of bring him to another level. Obviously, the last 2 years, he's been one of the better pitchers in the game. Before that, he battled some injuries. So I think, I think the Yankees will be careful not to do anything to mess that up health-wise. But like you said, on paper, they have the potential to be, one of the better rotations in the game. Obviously, health plays into that. Frankie Montas is expected to miss at least the first month of the season with shoulder inflammation, which hurt him last year as well. And now Nestor Cortez yesterday said, he tweaked his hamstring. It's a low grade 2 hamstring strain, which he said will be down a couple of weeks. He's still hoping to be ready by opening day, but that timeline doesn't leave him a ton of wiggle room in case there's any setbacks. So they have Domingo Germán and Clark Schmidt as their top options for starting pitching depth. But after that, it kind of falls off from there. So they really can't afford much more than the 2 guys that are already, entering camp a little bit hobbled. Can't afford much more than that. But if they all stay healthy, they definitely have the potential to be one of the game's better rotations.
Just another storyline for all of us to be paying attention to. And today we saw some interesting video of Aaron Judge taking grounders at first base. Obviously a little interesting to see that, but what'd you make of that?
Yeah, I think he was just having some fun. Obviously, there's a group of the position players who are at camp early. They don't have their first full squad workout until Monday, so they kind of have a mix and match of guys here. So I think DJ LeMahieu was at second base and kiner-falefa was at shortstop, and they needed somebody to be a big target over at first. So he got a first baseman's mitt from somewhere, and maybe I'm sure he told Anthony Rizzo about it later on. I don't think Rizzo's here yet. So Judge had he was taking throw to first base, fielded some ground balls himself, but I think he was just having some fun out there, which was it was funny to see him at a different position.
Well, the Yankees have a lot of expectations heading into this season, a lot of questions to be answered. We're looking forward to hearing Aaron Boone speak tomorrow. Greg, appreciate you as always, man, giving us some helpful insight throughout all this.